In a shaper, rotary motion of the drive is converted into reciprocating motion of the ram, which is by the mechanism housed within the column of the machine. In a standard shaper, metal is removed in the forward cutting stroke, while the return stroke remains idle and no metal is removed during this period. As you can see here, the shaper mechanism is so designed that it moves the ram holding the tool at a comparatively slower speed during forward cutting stroke, whereas during the return stroke it allows the ram to move at a faster speed to reduce the idle return time. This mechanism is what we call a quick return mechanism. The reciprocating motion of the ram and the quick return mechanism of the machine are generally obtained by certain methods. First being the crank and slotted link mechanism. Second is the Whitworth quick return mechanism. And third is the hydraulic shaper mechanism. The scope of this particular course is, however, only limited to crank and slotted link mechanism. So let's understand it. In crank and slotted link mechanism, as you can see here, the pinion receives its motion from an individual motor or overhead line shaft and transmits the motion or power to the bull gear. A bull gear is eventually a large gear mounted within the column. The speed of the bull gear may be changed by different combination of gearing or by simply shifting the belt on the step cone pulley. A radial slide is bolted to the center of the bull gear. This radial slide carries a sliding block into which the crank pin is fitted. This rotation of the bull gear will cause the bush pin to revolve at a uniform speed. Sliding block, which is mounted upon the crank pin, is fitted within the slotted link, and this slotted link is what we call a rocker arm. It is pivoted at its bottom and attached to the frame of the column. The upper end of the rocker arm is forked and connected to the ram block by a pin. With the rotation of bull gear, crank pin will rotate on the crank pin circle and simultaneously will move up and down the slot in the slotted link, which will give it a rocking movement, and this movement is then communicated to the ram, and thus the rotatory or eventually the rotary motion of the bull gear is converted into the reciprocating motion of the ram.